Yalai lalai lai 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 Yai lai la la lai 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 Yalai lalai lai 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 Yai lai la la lai 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 Yai lai lai Yalai lalai lai yai lai la lai Yalai lalai lai Yalai lai lai Yalai lalai lai Yai lai da da Yai lai da 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 Yai lai Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah Ya lai 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 Ya lai 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 Ya lai 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 Ya lai 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 lai
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Let's begin like we always do with a heart tap, greeting one another. It's really great to see all of you. As you can see, I am with my pod mate, Rabbi Sherman. For the first time, we're sitting together without masks, so we're moving in the right direction. And according to our re-entry committee, we're headed in the right way, and soon we'll be joining everyone in the sanctuary. Once again, we're experimenting. We love our presence on Zoom. We love seeing everyone, but we're also trying to capture the music of the sanctuary and the multiple voices. We are updating our cameras next month. We're still waiting for them. So I know that the visual is not perfect, but the most important thing is that we're all together. We'll hear the sounds of Shabbat, and we'll rejoice as a community. You want to add anything, Rabbi Sherman?
I just hope you find a way to situate yourself to let go of the distractions of the week and center ourselves on the joy and gratitude and blessings that we can share together on Shabbat.
So once again, let's perhaps go into gallery view. You can see the members of our community. Let's begin with a heart tap once again, saying hello to each other over Zoom. And tomorrow, Ellie becomes bar mitzvah, and she is going to join us with her Shabbat candles. And now we're going to join the cantor and rabbi in the sanctuary as Grace Cohen, who also becomes bar mitzvah, will be lighting candles for us. And this week you'll see Cantor Safran joins us as well. The candle lighting.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I know we are together as one community here in the sanctuary and Zoom, and I am joined with Grace Cohen, who becomes bar mitzvah tomorrow, and she has the honor of lighting our Shabbat candles. So let's turn to page 120. As we join together in the candle lighting, you can go ahead and light them first.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu v'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Let's join together in song. Thank you, Grace. Mazal tov.
Amen. So let us begin to transition into Welcome Shabbat with the words of Shalom Aleichem, page 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ay, 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 Boachem Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ay, 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 Tzedechem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yai, lai, lai, yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, lai, yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, lai, yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, lai,
And we welcome Shabbat as if we are at a wedding and the beloved enters the room. We greet Shabbat with that much joy and love. So beloved, come to meet Shabbat, page 138.
Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad Yishme'anu el hamiuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad L'shem u'tiferet v'litila L'echad Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela L'echad Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nekabela
welcome our Shabbat presence.
Boi v'shalom, ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'v'tzola, toch emunei am segula, boi chala, olecha dodi likrat kala, o b'nei Shabbat nekabela, olecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Let's be seated with our feet planted firmly on the floor. We join together in these unifying words of Shema Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai, Eloheinu, Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Let's join together on page 161 for the Hashkivenu prayer, a prayer that asks for peace for us, some love, shelter, and bring some understanding. We'll join together and sing these sacred words.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu, Leshalom, V'cha'amideinu, Shomreinu L'chaim, Ufros Aleinu, life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Better? Great. I invite you all to rise and join on page 164. Let's join in a moment of gratitude. If you're on Zoom, please join us and put your words of gratitude into the chat box. And if you're here, let us join on 164 together. Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Agid, Tehilatecha. Please join me. Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Agid, Tehilatecha. Open up our lips that we may praise your name. Open up our hearts that we may feel our pain. Open up our souls and let our love make us whole. And we will praise your name, Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Agid, Tehilatecha. Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Agid, Tehilatecha. Please take a moment for your own personal meditation.
We join together for the words of Oseh Shalom on page 180, asking for the one who makes peace up on high to make peace for us, for all Israel, and for all who inhabit this world.
Oseh Shalom bimromav, Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru la 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 Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei Tevel ve'imru Amen.
We take a moment in our service to recognize those who are in need of a Misha Berach, who are in need of a prayer of healing. If there's anybody here in the sanctuary who is thinking of someone who is in need of a prayer, whether healing of mind, healing of body, or healing of spirit, I invite you to raise your hand so we can acknowledge you. And for those of you on Zoom, I invite you to put the names of those loved ones in our chat box so we can recognize them there. Let's join together on page 370 for Misha Berach.
May the source of strength who bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
And of course, each Shabbat, we also give thanks for those sacred moments we've shared during the past week. And so if you have celebrated a birthday this week, we hope you'll raise your hand so that we can acknowledge you as a birthday. Marlene, I see you. Happy birthday. As I scroll through, I think some people put their hands down. I'm sorry I missed you. Happy birthday. How about an anniversary? I believe we have some anniversaries. It is the 62nd anniversary of Mimi and David Brown. And I know that Peg and Lou Metzger just celebrated their 45th. Happy anniversary as well. Anyone else? Now that I'm not looking at my sheet and the anniversaries, Mazel Tov, everybody. I want to say a Mazel Tov to Grace Cohen, Nellie Wirtz, and Zach Solomon, and Asher Seidman, who become Bar Mitzvah tomorrow. We know you're going to do a beautiful wonderful job in leading us in prayer. Another Shehechianu moment. I see Rabbi Lazar on Zoom. Rabbi Lazar just celebrated his 50th year in the rabbinate and 25 years at Temple Beth Elohim. So Rabbi Lazar Mazel Tov, really extraordinary service to the Jewish people. Raise your hand if you celebrated something new for the very first time this week. Maybe a new fruit, a watermelon, or a good blueberry, or you heard a new bird, or you saw a new flower this week. Those are definitely, I see some hands going up, Shehechianu worthy. So let us give thanks, led by Cantor Zell in the sanctuary.
So in addition to all of the milestones that you have mentioned, we have a very special milestone to acknowledge this Shabbat. I want to welcome to the Bima. Well, first I want to welcome Big Brother Matthew to the Bima, but I want to welcome Hannah Mae Boylan to our Bima. She is 1 month old today, with her mama Alicia and her father Chris, who have been members, along with Alicia's mother Lynn and their family. We welcome to our Shabbat services tonight. So Hannah will receive her Hebrew name, and she's going to remember it in her dreams, I see, as we welcome her to the community of Israel tonight. Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu kayem et Hayalda hazot la'aviha u'ima, vayikare shema beYisrael. Chana Daniela bat Alexandra Miriam u'Matthew Christopher. Yismach ha'av b'yotzeit chalatza v'tagel ima b'frit bitna. Zot ha'ketana gedola tihiyeh. Kishim sheniknasa labrit ken tikanes laTorah u'chupa u'ma'asim tovim. Our God and God of our mothers and fathers, sustain this child through her parents' loving care. Let her be known among our people Israel by the name Chana Daniela. May her name be a source of joy to her and inspire her to serve our people and all humankind. May her parents continue to rejoice in her growth of body and soul. And as they have brought her into the covenant of our people, so may they, with wisdom and continued patience, lead her to the study of Torah, to a life of good deeds. And we pray to a partnership worthy of God's blessing. And let us say, Amen. So I'm going to give Mom and Dad a moment to share a word about Hannah's Hebrew name. So let's make sure you can be heard.
Hannah is named after her grandparents, many grandparents. Hannah is named after her Oma, her great Oma Helene, and May is named after her great-grandmother Millie, and her Hebrew name Danielle is named after her great-grandmother Doris. So she represents all her grandparents, and it's a really big significance because Hannah is also, I believe in the Bible, the mother of Samuel, and that's in honor of my brother. So it was really beautiful, and we just wish her a life of happiness and health.
So may she come to live to take on the name of all of those who have come before her, who continue to teach us, even though they are not here. So we are blessed. You are the first family to be named from the Bima, right up here from the Bima box, because we've all been vaccinated. And I understand that Hannah Mae even has antibodies.
Yes, she does.
So I'm going to place my hand on your arm to give her a blessing as we ask God's blessing upon this beautiful soul. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmarecha. Hannah, may God bless you and protect you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. May God's grace shine upon you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. And may God lift God's face to yours, granting you the most precious gift of wholeness, of shalom, of peace. And let us all say, Amen. So let's join together in the words of Shehechianu as we thank God for life and all of these milestones that we can share together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kilmanu v'higianu lazman שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Lots to be grateful for this evening. Mazel Tov. I'm excited that Cantor Zell has written a new melody for us this evening. I'm also grateful that Cantor Sufrin is here with us as well, always offering the beautiful gift of song. But before we continue, I do want to share a brief word of Torah. For this week's Torah portion is called Shalach Lecha, when God tells Moses to choose 12 individuals, one from every single tribe, to enter and scout out the promised land. Observe the land, Moses is to tell them, and make sure that it's safe to enter. Find out, are the people in the land strong or weak? Are there many or few? Make sure it's worth taking the journey in the first place. Find out, is the soil rich or poor? Is the land wooded or barren? And 12 of the spies go, and 10 come back and say, and I quote, "The land is flowing with milk and honey. But the people who inhabit the land are of great size. We look like grasshoppers to ourselves," they say, "and we must have looked like grasshoppers to them. We should not be going." But 2 spies come back with a different message. Joshua and Caleb come back and say, "We should go into the land. The land is flowing with milk and honey, and it's filled with great promise. Let us not be afraid." And so, of course, the rabbis ask, what happens? You send 12 smart people, honest people, to see the same exact lands, but they see very different things. And the rabbis answered, because it wasn't about seeing the land. You see, God knew what the land looked like. God created the land. If God had wanted them to report on the lands, God would have just said shalach, which means go forth and scout out the lands. But God didn't say shalach. The portion is called shalach lecha, which means not just go, but go into yourselves. Because God wasn't asking to scout out the lands. God was asking what's inside of you. Are you brave enough to enter the land of promise? Are you ready to make the journey? And 10 of the spies were not. They were scared. They didn't go. "We looked like grasshoppers," they said. And worse yet, they said, "We looked like grasshoppers to them." And the rabbis say that's worse yet because they didn't know what the people thought of them. They never spoke to the people and said, "What do we look like to you?" They just made up a story that they were small in comparison to the others. But Joshua and Caleb did not do that. They looked towards the land of promise with hope. And so tonight we ask, who do we want to be? The 10 spies who were afraid, or the 2 that looked ahead with hope and faith? Because the Torah is not just an ancient tale. We know that. The world is a narrow bridge, we're told. We're still on a journey. And if we want to get to the land of promise, we need to remember the most important thing, in Hebrew, the ikar. And that is that when it comes to the journey of life, do not be afraid. And so, Cantor, we listen to the words, "The world is a narrow bridge. Do not be afraid."
support where you land. Though the bridge is narrow, do not fear it all. והעיקר לא לפחד כלל. The whole world is a very narrow bridge, and I won't be afraid. כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, and I won't be afraid. If you're in need, I'll come running. Hold on tight, 'cause help is coming. There may be giants who stand in our way, but we're brave, we're wise, we're strong, we bend, we don't break. The whole world is a very narrow bridge, and I won't be afraid. כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, and I won't be afraid. No step is too small. It's all right. Sometimes we fall, though the road is long. Move along. The whole world is a very narrow bridge, and I won't be afraid. כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, and I won't be afraid. I won't fear. May we outrun our fears. And I won't be safe and sound. May we let the love wash away our tears. And I won't be courage abound. May we outrun our fears. May we be safe and sound. May we let the love wash away our tears. And I won't be courage abound. The world is wide, and though I may feel small inside, I will dig deep. I've got what I need, and I will cross that bridge. The whole world is a very narrow bridge, and I won't be afraid.
We now continue with the words of Mourner's Kaddish on page 598. If you have a prayer book, if you're in the sanctuary, we invite you to rise or raise your hand so that we can acknowledge you as a mourner in our midst, or observing a yurt site as the rabbis come around and acknowledge you. If you'll recite your name on Zoom, if you'll type the names of those individuals you're remembering in the chat room. I mention those members and relatives of our members who have passed during the past 30 days: Marcia Bornstein, the sister of Howard Gordon; Stuart Cooper, the father of Joshua Cooper; Roberta Duker, the mother of Jay Duker; Alan Frommer, the husband of Judith Frommer; Myrna Hammerling, the mother of Jamie Byrne; Florence Morton, the mother of Paul Morton; Alfred Stein, the father of David Stein. I've been asked to read the names of Edna Blinchikoff, the mother of Laura Simons; Daniel Cohen, the father of Susan Jacobs; Stanley Kleeman, the father of Stuart Kleeman; Benjamin Nesson, the father of Peter Nesson; Beverly Olsberg, wife of Peter Alsberg. Louis Proman Jr., the father of Louis Proman. Evelyn Posner, the mother of Louise Posner Silverman. And Alexander Tanger, the father of Marcia Ginsburg. And let us rise in support of the mourners in our midst and recite these words. Page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash meraba.
Amen.
V'yamad yivrach ruteh v'yamlich malchuteh. V'chayachon v'yomechon v'chaye decho Beit Yisrael. Bagalav Yisman Kariv Imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabam Barach Le'olam Olamei Omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemeid Kursha B'richu. Le'elamin kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechamata. Ta'amiran v'yama v'imru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mrobav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru Amen.
Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
And so a few announcements before we close with Kiddush and Motzi. One is Shabbat tomorrow morning, Minyan and Torah study at 10 a.m. as we do each week. And then Monday, we have our Racial Justice Initiative quarterly meeting at 7 p.m. on Zoom. We hope you can join us. Tuesday, there's an informational session for our annual budget and board. And this is a reminder to our temple members. We need you to vote. There's a quorum that's necessary to pass the annual budget. So I don't know how to do this. I'm not a voting member of the congregation, but check the temple website. I believe there's a link, and please sign on and vote. Finally, it is Pride Month in June. There is special programming taking place. We'll have a speaker next Shabbat. And this Wednesday, there is a special challah baking. It is rainbow challah baking with an expert challah baker. And that expert challah baker who just published a book on the art of challah baking is our incoming new assistant rabbi, Vanessa Harper. So her first teaching will be this Wednesday on Zoom. Rainbow challah baking. We hope you can join us. Finally, we have the congregational meeting coming up on June 15th, along with our Summer Institute, a full summer of learning on Zoom. And finally, and very significantly, we have another blood drive. I'm really proud that we're using our building once again, and what better way than for a blood drive. And that's on June 17th, and we really hope our temple members will come through these doors and give blood. Anything I'm missing?
I think
Great.
you're good, Rabbi.
Kiddush. Ryan. Let's all rise. Yeah.
It happens. The glasses thing. It's
The
real.
glasses.
Please join us.
Struggle is real.
Let's hear you all.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh bereshit. Ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat.
L'chaim, take a sip.
L'chaim.
And so I want to invite Zach Solomon to unmute yourself, who celebrates becoming b'mitzvah tomorrow, to lead us in Motzi. And so Zach, if you can hold up a challah. Where are you? There you are. Let's see that. That's beautiful. All right. And if you have a challah, let's see it in front of your screen. And Zach is going to lead us in these words, and then we'll wish each other Shabbat Shalom. So Zach, go ahead.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu mechayon hamotzi leheinu meharat.
Amen. Mazel tov, Zach. We are so excited to celebrate with you. Take a bite of that challah. Finish the mitzvah if you can eat challah. You did a great job. And let's go back to gallery view, everyone, and wish each other a Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom. Mazel tov.
Shalom. Hi, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Hi, Ronnie. Hi, Ronnie. Shabbat Shalom.
Rabbi Sherman.
Hi, Mitch.
Good Shabbos.
Yeah, good Shabbos. Good Shabbos. Well, Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Oh, Rabbi Lazar, I love seeing you. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom. Nice to be seen and nice to see you guys.
Mazel tov,
I like your
Rabbi.
hairstyle.
Yeah, Mazel
Hi,
Tov.
Rav Jeff.
Shalom, Carol Mitchell. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Zach,
Shabbat
mazel
Shalom to all
tov.
you wonderful folks.
People leaving quickly tonight.
Do you want to say it again? Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Say it again.
Shabbat Shalom, Shira.
Someone said Shira.
It was Uncle Danny.
Oh, it was Uncle Danny Nowitzki.
Goodbye.
Hi, Nowitzkis. Okay, time to go.